If your lawn is patchy, thin, and brown in spots, no matter how much you water it or how much you spend on fertilizer, I want to tell you something that took me years to accept. The problem is almost never your soil. It is almost never your grass. It is almost always the handful of small habits nobody ever corrected for you. And the frustrating part is that the people most able to fix those habits, the lawn care companies billing you every month, have very little reason to ever teach them to you. A lawn that is healthy enough to stop needing visits is a lawn that stops paying their invoice. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the real levers. The ones turf scientists at universities like Penn State, Texas A&M, and Michigan State have written about for decades. None of this is secret in the sense of being hidden. It is just quietly inconvenient for anyone selling you a recurring service. By the end, I will also show you a full step-by-step program I put together called the Forbidden Lawn Code and exactly what it costs, which is less than a single visit from one of the big national services. But I want the free version to stand entirely on its own first. If you only watch and never buy anything, you should still be able to walk outside this weekend and start fixing your lawn. Let me start with the single biggest mistake, because most people are doing it every single weekend. You are cutting your grass too short. I know how counterintuitive that feels. A short lawn looks tidy, looks finished, looks like you did the job right, but grass is a plant, and the blade is its solar panel. When you scalp it down to an inch, you strip away the surface area it needs to feed itself. The roots shrink to match the top. Shallow roots dry out fast, so the lawn browns the moment the weather turns. Bare soil between thin blades is an open invitation for crabgrass and weed seeds, which need sunlight on bare ground to germinate. The general rule turf scientists come back to again and again is the 1/3 rule. Never remove more than 1/3 of the blade height in a single mow. And for most cool season grasses like fescue and bluegrass, the target height is taller than you think, often around 3 to 3.5 inches. For many warm season grasses, it is lower, but the principle is the same. Taller grass shades its own soil, holds moisture, builds deeper roots, and crowds out weeds before they ever start. This one change, raising your mower deck, does more for lawn color and density than any bag of fertilizer I have ever bought. It costs nothing. You can do it today. Now, quick aside, because I want to be straight with you about who I am and what I do. Everything I am describing here is pulled together in far more detail inside the Forbidden Lawn Code, a step-by-step 21-day program with a reset calendar broken out by climate zone. So you're not guessing whether your region is cool season or warm season. The link is first in the description. I will come back to it. For now, back to the lawn. The second lever is water, and this is where I see good intentions do real damage. Most people water a little bit every day, usually in the evening, because that is when they are home. This is close to the worst possible pattern. Light daily watering keeps the surface wet and the roots lazy. The roots have no reason to dig because the water never goes deep, so they stay near the surface where the first hot spell kills them. And evening watering leaves the blades damp all night, which is exactly the condition fungal diseases like brown patch and dollar spot wait for. The fix is the opposite of intuition. Water deeply and infrequently. A long soak once or twice a week that pushes moisture 6 inches down early in the morning so the blades dry by midday. This trains roots to chase the water downward. Deep roots are drought-resistant roots. You will water less often, spend less, and the lawn will hold its color through dry weeks that wreck your neighbor's daily sprinkled patch. The third lever is timing, and this is the one almost nobody gets right because you cannot see it. Grass seed does not care what the calendar says. It cares about soil temperature. If you overseed when the soil is too cold or too hot, most of that seed simply will not establish, and you blame the seed or yourself when the real problem was timing by a couple of weeks. For cool season grasses, the prime overseeding window is late summer into early fall, when soil temperatures settle into roughly the 50s to low 60s Fahrenheit. Warm enough to germinate, cool enough that you're not fighting summer weeds for the space. A cheap soil thermometer, the kind you push into the ground, takes the guesswork out completely. Get the timing right, and seed that would have failed in June or July establishes thick and fast. This is the difference between overseeding that fills in your thin spots and overseeding that just feeds the birds. Now let me stop for a moment and talk about the products you are being sold, because this is where the industry and your interests quietly diverge. Synthetic quick-release fertilizer gives you a fast green flush. It looks great for 2 weeks, but that flush is top growth the plant did not earn through its roots, and it often comes with a salt load that, over time, can stress soil biology. So the lawn gets dependent. It greens, it fades. You call for another application, it greens, it fades. That is not a failed product. From a business standpoint, that is a perfectly functioning subscription. The alternative that turf and soil researchers keep pointing back to is feeding the soil rather than spiking the plant. Compost and compost tea, slow release and organic sources, and grass cycling, which simply means leaving your clippings on the lawn so they return nitrogen as they break down, instead of bagging them and buying that same nitrogen back in a bag. A healthy soil with active biology holds nutrients, holds water, and resists disease on its own. It needs you less, which is exactly why it is not the thing being marketed to you on a monthly contract. There's one more piece worth knowing, and I want to be careful and accurate about it because this is an area where a lot of exaggerated claims get made online. Household vinegar can knock down young, small weeds and cracks and on bare spots by burning the foliage on contact. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency classifies certain low-concentration vinegar products as minimum-risk pesticides. But I want to be honest with you about the limits. Vinegar burns the top of the plant. It does not reliably kill established perennial weeds at the root, and it is not selective, so it will damage your grass too if you spray it broadly. It is a spot tool for a young weed in a driveway crack, not a lawn-wide weed killer, and anyone telling you it replaces everything is overselling it. Used for what it actually does, it is a useful, low-cost, lower toxicity option. And the same honesty applies to grass variety. There are turf-type tall fescues and other cultivars bred with naturally occurring endophytes, beneficial fungi inside the plant that improve its resistance to certain surface-feeding insects and to drought stress. These are real. They are sold by reputable seed suppliers. And choosing the right cultivar for your region genuinely matters. They are not magic. They will not make a scalped, underwatered, badly timed lawn green. They are one more lever that works when the fundamentals are already in place. So let me put the whole free method in one place, because if you do only this, your lawn will change. Raise your mower and follow the 1/3 rule. Water deeply and infrequently early in the morning. Overseed in the right soil temperature window for your grass type, using a thermometer instead of a calendar. Feed your soil instead of spiking your plant, and leave your clippings. Use vinegar only as a spot tool, and choose a regionally appropriate, ideally Endophyte-enhanced cultivar when you reseed. That is the foundation. None of it requires a contract. Now, here is where the Forbidden Lawn Code comes in, and I will be completely straight about what it is and what it costs. The free method I just gave you is the what. The program is the exact when and how sequenced, so you are not guessing. It is a 21-day reset built around a calendar with the steps laid out day by day, adapted for 4 climate zones, so you follow the version that matches where you actually live. It includes a guide to sourcing Endophyte-enhanced seed from reputable suppliers, recipes and safe use guidance for vinegar-based spot treatment within label, and EPA guidance, a compost tea brewing guide, a drought-resilience section, and lifetime updates as the material improves. It costs $24.97 one time. For context, a single visit from one of the large national lawn services averages around $58, and an annual contract commonly runs several $100s or more every year, for as long as you own the home. The program is a one-time cost that is meant to make those visits unnecessary, not to maintain a problem on a schedule. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you go through it and it is not for you, you ask for a refund and you get it. I would rather you try it honestly and tell me it did not fit than feel stuck with it. The link is first in the description and pinned in the top comment. Results genuinely vary with your soil, your climate, your grass type, and how consistently you actually do the steps, so I'm not going to promise you a number of days or a specific outcome. What I can tell you is that the levers are real. The science behind them is not in dispute. Before you go, picture the 2 honest paths in front of you. On one path, you change nothing, and next month the same brown patches are there and the same bill arrives, and a year from now you have spent the cost of the contract again with a lawn that looks about the same. On the other path, this weekend you raise the mower, you change how you water, you wait for the right soil temperature to seed, and you start feeding the soil instead of renting a green flush. That path is slower than a marketing promise, but it is real and it compounds, and eventually the lawn needs you and the industry far less. If this was useful, subscribe to the channel because this is the kind of thing that is easy to bury under everything that is being sold to you. The link to the Forbidden Lawn Code is first in the description and in the pinned comment. Go raise your mower.